Hi, I'm John McAuliffe, Chief Marketing Officer of VFM Leonardo, and welcome to the VTV channel. I'm pleased to tell you we have Phillip Wolfe, President and CEO of PhoCusWright, with us today. Phillip is a well-known and well-regarded expert on trends and practices in travel e-business. He founded PhoCusWright in 1994, which is now the premier source for travel, tourism, and hospitality intelligence. Phillip is a highly sought-after speaker around the world and is frequently quoted in consumer and trade media. He is a former adjunct professor at NYU's Graduate Center for Hospitality and Tourism and is currently a distinguished lecturer at the Cornell University School of Hotel Administration. Phillip has served as board director for companies on 3 continents, currently for global media property T-News, Talking Travel Tech, and India's Make My Trip. Prior to PhoCusWright, Phillip was CEO of a venture-funded software developer and travel booking engine pioneer. Over the course of 5 episodes, Phillip and I are going to discuss the topic, Chaos Calls, Navigating the New. In this series of episodes, we will examine the forces that are transforming travel, tourism, and hospitality that all travel companies must confront. Our discussion is based on the theme of PhoCusWright's conference and will focus on how hoteliers can successfully navigate the new. Phillip, welcome to VTV and thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. We got a lot of great stuff to cover.
That's wonderful. Over the course of these episodes, I'm sure that we're going to find and hear some interesting insights and knowledge from you. Our first episode topic on Chaos Calls, Navigating the New, is on disparate devices and channels. Certainly, as we all know, there's a long list of new devices, platforms, and channels out there, and they continue to grow at a fairly rapid pace. The proliferation of discrete and sometimes proprietary platforms, social networks, channels, and devices enables travelers to connect and get connected in distinctly different ways at every stage of trip planning. This demand is increasing, and my first question to you, Phillip, is do you believe that this proliferation of new devices and platforms, etc., demands separate strategies to engage shoppers in different ways for hoteliers?
John, it's definitely chaos out there. Hoteliers ask these questions all the time. Do I have to do iPad, iPhone, web, mobile web, Facebook, YouTube? And instead of answering the question from an industry perspective, it's always best to understand what customers are doing and what travelers are doing. And context helps explain the strategically correct answer to this question. Disparate devices and channels is another way to say the golden age of the web is over. Some people say the splinternet has arrived. So recall starting 1995, John, people asked the question, do I need a website? What about all the other stuff I'm going to do? I'm already short on time, over budget. I have no money for a web strategy. But when you follow the travelers, follow the customers, as they change so much, so must you, in order to attract and retain today's customer and tomorrow's customer. So when we say the golden age of the web is over, it means from 1995 to 2009, companies, organizations, groups of people could develop a robust web strategy, develop resources, and invest to that web strategy. And pretty much as somebody had a browser anywhere in the world, it didn't matter what device or channel they were on, they found you. But now you can go from morning, noon to night through peer-to-peer networks and apps for smartphones and tablets and never go to a www prefix. So this is one of those economic times. That's why we call it chaos. Yes, you have to have a strategy for how your customers are behaving. Multiple smartphone platforms, multiple tablet platforms, the mobile web, We haven't even gotten to internet-enabled automobiles and internet TV.
It's interesting. I mean, certainly your view of it is quite profound, and it really comes down to the point that really, as e-marketers, forget the fact that we're e-marketers in the hotel business. We need to be where our travelers want to experience our hotel, and so that really is what drives where we spend our efforts and time and money on.
John, I'm not even sure what an e-marketer is anymore. I became an online zealot in 1989, and from 1989 to 1994, 6 years, a group of us were very focused on the online medium before the World Wide Web. For example, we had multiple email addresses on the back of our business cards, one for Prodigy, one for CompuServe, one for Delphi. And that's when the E prefix and the I prefix started, as if there was an offline world and an online world. The truth is, you can't be a good marketer today without being a good marketer today. E-marketer, I-marketer, O-marketer, it doesn't matter anymore. That's why I say, what are your customers doing? How are they thinking? How are their behaviors? What are their attitudes? What are they doing? And what are they doing differently? And more importantly, what are they going to do tomorrow? And how are you going to beat out your competition at attracting and retaining them, engaging with them, and sustaining competitive advantage for your business, your hotel, your property, whatever?
Right. It is ironic that it always comes back to the fundamentals of marketing, and that is really understanding the consumer and how to interact with that consumer. Let me ask you, in this snapshot of time, are there any of these new devices or channels that have emerged most recently that are more important today for hoteliers to focus on?
No, I think if a hotelier fixates on a manufacturer or a platform at this stage, that almost misses the point. The rate of change is so astronomical, it's unbelievable. Nobody's doing anything for Google TV yet, but in X months' time, that could become a dominant thing. The tablet wars haven't even barely started yet. So, bad strategy if in this chaos calls environment, hotel marketers are starting to get a laundry list. Rather, there needs to be a business approach in the organization that's very customer-centric and appreciates that in the average day in the life, it's chaotic. That's the culture that needs to be instilled right now. It's very difficult because when we say the golden age of the web is over, it means that for 15 some odd years, we've created marketing organizations that went from no web fixation to 100% web fixation. And now, just like the beginning of a pool game, that 8-ball has just busted the cluster. And winners will thrive in this chaotic environment.
Certainly, that is very true. If I were an e-business professional, if you will, by title only, in a mid-level management company, what type of advice can you give to me to help me navigate some of this chaos with the proliferation of disparate devices and channels today?
Well, there's a lot of things to do. Number one, does everybody in your organization, people you trust, people you interact with, your vendors, your suppliers, your employees, etc., are they endeavoring to emulate the chaotic behavior of your customer set? I was with a client the other day, and I said, something's wrong with your iPhone app, and nobody had an iPhone. And culturally, it was almost okay that internally they didn't emulate disparate devices and channels. So, some organizations, if you don't have a laboratory set up where you're actually using everything, you're out. You have to be a readaholic. You have to be all over the blogs and really understand this. Culturally, if you're so busy doing things and feel justified explaining that you don't have time for this stuff, you need to alter your team. And there's plenty of people that will dig their heels in and say, I don't have time to do that, right? You ask for advice, it's a mix. There's a lot of people that are more comfortable operating in a chaotic type of environment. I think another advice item I would add to that list is measurement, analysis, and metrics. Drives me nuts when I'm with a company and they go, I think this is working very well, or we got really good kudos on that. Do you measure? Do you have funnels? Do you know what attrition rates is and click-through rates are, and when people are dropping out, and what's generating conversion? And if you're not a metrics monster, you're going to get creamed in this kind of environment because you're doing so many different things simultaneously. You'll lack the barometer that informs your organization what to do less, what to do more, where to spend, where to cut back.
Certainly that is a very insightful and very great suggestion to marketers. And I like yourself, am constantly dumbfounded by the number of people that focus on particular tactics in marketing without any understanding or goal for measuring its value. So it's certainly something that people should be focused on. I love your idea about the lab as well. To your point about the experience that you had with your customer, I recently was on a website for a hotel where they were giving away an iPad as part of their promotion. And I was trying to view their website on my iPad, and it was not iPad compatible. So I found that kind of ironic, and it certainly happens everywhere, doesn't it? Philip, thank you very much for sharing with us your insights and speaking with us today about chaos calls, navigating the new, and our discussion about the proliferation of disparate devices and channels. We look forward to our next episode with you.
You're welcome. Chaos definitely calls and you have to answer.
To all the viewers out there, be sure to post your comments on this episode of VTV and subscribe to our feed to receive more valuable insights from industry experts. If you would like to suggest topics that you would like us to cover in future episodes, feel free to email us at vtv@vfmleonardo.com to send us your suggestions.